Hello everybody, so this is the second video for chapter 1 and this is section 1.3, and now the question is, does this point satisfy the following system? As you see now, a system, this is a system of two equations. So we're going to test the first equation with a 9 for x and a 6 for y, which is true. Then we need to test the second one, and it needs to work for both equations. So both equations need to be true, right? So this is where we're going to substitute 9 minus a 4 times a 6. So we have a 54 and we have a 24, and that is true. 30 equal to 30. So yes, it satisfies both equations, right? So you need to check both of them. And so the noting needs to be both to be true, not just one. Solve the system of linear equations. In that one, we tested to make sure that's a solution. So here, this shows you what you need to do for this one. Once you solve it, you can check, you can substitute the point that you have, if it's 1 point, and see if it satisfies again the two equations. This one is picked because as you see, this number 2 here, it has fractions. So what we can do is we can update this system to an equivalent one without having this fractions. If we multiply the whole thing by 2, then we should get x plus y equal 14. So now we don't have fractions. And from here we can use a substitution or elimination, whichever you want to work on this one. If you want to use elimination, we can, as this is 1x and this is 1x, if we subtract these equations, we should eliminate x. So if we subtract x minus x, then we have 0x. And if we subtract 2y minus y, then we'll have y. And if we subtract the right side, 8 minus 14, we should get -6 for y. So that's if you want to use elimination, you eliminate x as it's easier. For y, to eliminate y, you will need a -2 here, right? Because when you add, it needs to go away. Substitution is also can be used by having x. For example, you subtract y, you have 14 minus y, and use it there. But you see here, this is much easier. Once you have the y value, you can use it in any one of them. You can use it here or here to get the x value. So let's pick number 2. If you pick number 2, you have 14 minus y, right? And 14 minus -6, and that's a 20. So that should work, which means that's the point that is a solution for this. This is find the coordinate. I think let's see, do we have another similar problem? No. Then system of equations is that way. You can use substitution, elimination. Once you have the solution, you can use it. The system of equations may not have a solution, or it may have infinite number of solutions. All right, so you will see these in the homework and other examples. So let's find the coordinates of the labeled points. We have these points here, and as you see, I put the solution for you this way. You can maybe pause the video and try it to see whether from doing the homework. If this, if you get the problem, then you can move on. If not, then you watch the video and you write it down and you go to your homework and practice more. So if we use the same idea that if we have an intersection, that's the solution, right? That's the solution, which means this point, if you use it in these two lines, it satisfies these two equations. It works for both of them. So same thing here. This line is x equal 3, and this other line is 2x plus 3y equal 18. So for this point, x is 3, right, from the vertical one. And we do 18 minus 6 is 12, so y equal 4. So here, for A is 3, 4. And we can do the same thing for B. Since for B, this line is y equal 2, then y is 2. And since this intersects with this line, then we use it there. It must work for it. Okay, so, and as you see, B is the point with x is 6 and y is 2, right? The supply curve of a certain commodity is P, where P represents the price. So when you read these, you try to figure out what each thing is. Then you find out what's extra. Then you read the question, and there is a process to solve for solving these. So P represents the price, and Q represents units sold. Right? You know, if something costs $2, if you buy 2, it's 2 times 2. If you buy 5, it's 5 times 2. So you know, the price has to do with the number of units, but it follows this equation. What price must be offered in order for 19,000 units of the company to be supplied? So Q is 19,000. So it's all right. Let's calculate this. And I have 1.95. 1.95. All right. So that's the price. Select the prices that result in no units of the commodity being sold. No units being sold. What does that mean, right? It means Q 0, right? So we go back to this. If Q is 0, then 0.05 or less. It can't be any higher, you know, because to get a number that is higher than 0.05, you need some value there added, right? So that's why it's this one. So let's go back, look at it. All right, so you look at it again. If Q is 0, then it's 0.05. It can't be more because we need Q, right? New units sold. So I think that's straightforward. This is a formula that's used. This is a conversion between degrees and Celsius, and this formula allows you to see that conversion. So if you have Celsius, it's given in terms of Fahrenheit, and for what temperature are the Celsius and Fahrenheit value are the same. Values are the same. So this is Celsius and this is Fahrenheit, and if you see these numbers, you know they look always different. But here the question is nice. It's actually trying to ask us: is there a value where they're both are the same? So here we're going to use this keyword the same. What does the same mean? C is same as F, right? So we can keep this whether we want it in terms of C or whether we want it in terms of F. So it just means we need to solve it. So let's say we put C here and see what happens, right? So C minus 5/9 times 32. Okay. And that's 5/9 C minus 160/9. And we need to subtract and that's 9/9. So 4/9, and to get C by itself, we're gonna multiply by this reciprocal because you want this to cancel out to have one C, right? So this with this and this with this, then it becomes one C. So C is -160/9 and times 9/4. 9 with 9 cancels out, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. We have a 0, right? So, all right. So here we see degrees, so I put F instead for a C there, or Celsius, and so for -40 makes it work. And of course, follow some instructions here, like do not include the degree symbol because it's already outside the box. So you just need to put -40. It cannot be a 40, it's -40. And so the degree symbol is already outside. So I'll let you practice this one similarly to what we did, all right? And eliminate the fractions if you want to, that makes it easier. And that concludes this video. Thank you.